Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another video. If you're new to my channel or you've never seen one of my videos before, then hello, my name is Kevin. And if you are a returning subscriber or you've seen one of my videos before, then hello, I am back. Yes, I am still alive and doing well, thank you. I can't believe it's been almost 5 weeks now since I uploaded a video last. I don't know, I've just been so busy this month and I've been working a new job, just trying to spend time with family for the holidays and stuff like that. And also, I don't know, I just haven't been in the right mind state to film a video. I'm kind of getting out of it right now, not really in the right mind state still, but we're getting there. We're gonna try today, see what happens, and hopefully this video goes well. I was originally gonna film a 2018 favorites video, but I decided I'm going to do that video a little bit later because I need to put a lot more planning into picking out my favorites because I had a lot of favorites and I just want to make sure that I get the right ones. I don't want to just throw a whole bunch of stuff in there. I don't want to make the video too long. But today's video is going to be a full face of drugstore first impressions. I actually went to Ulta this morning and picked out a whole bunch of new drugstore products that I've never tried before. Some of these are new to the drugstore and some of these have been in the drugstore for a while, but they're new to me. I never tried them before. And I actually tried to keep a budget and I only spent $100. I know you're thinking that's a lot, but I got a full face of makeup for only $100. The only things I didn't get is primer and eyebrows. I actually already applied my primer and I went into the Tatcha Silk Canvas primer right here. This has been one of my favorite primers. I keep looking down at the viewfinder, so I'm sorry if it looks like I'm sleeping. It's been a while since I filmed. I gotta get used to it. So here is my bag of first impressions drugstore makeup right here. Oh wait, should I do a thumbnail right now? Let's do a thumbnail. This is my good side. Okay. Alright, so since I did already apply primer, which is again the Tatcha Silk Canvas primer, I'm going to first go into foundation, and the foundation that I'm using is the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation in the shade, what shade is this? Nude. Alright, so this foundation comes in a little pump type bottle right here, and I'm going to shake it up because I like to shake up my foundations before I use them. Alright, and to go with the theme of first impressions, I did buy a new beauty sponge, which I'm going to try out on half of my face, and then I'm going to go in with my Japanese sponge on the other half of my face, which is my favorite sponge. I guess you consider this drugstore too, because it's only $6 or $8, and you could buy it at Ulta. The new sponge that I'm trying out is the e.l.f. Total Face Sponge. Use wet or dry, but I would probably never use it dry. I'm a little bit scared to use dry sponges because I feel like they just soak up all the product. Alright, so I'm just going to squirt some of the foundation on the sponge and then just dot it on my face. Hopefully this is my shade. The other one that I swatched was a little bit too dark. And it says that this is supposed to be a full coverage foundation. I love full coverage foundations. All of my favorite foundations are full coverage, so I will let you know if this one is comparable. I might have applied a little bit too much foundation. And by a little bit, I mean a lot. It's pretty full coverage so far. If these dogs are gonna keep barking this whole video, we're not doing this today. Alright, so now that we did our right side of the face, we're going to go into the left side with the Japanese Sponge, which is a sponge that I know I love already, and see if it makes a difference. No, to be honest, I can't really tell much of a difference, but on the side when I use the Japanese Sponge, I feel like the sponge sucked up a lot more product than the e.l.f. Total Face Sponge. The Total Face Sponge from e.l.f., if you guys want to try it out, I really like the sponge. I think it's pretty good. It blended everything out smoothly. It didn't lift a lot of product. It didn't make anything streaky. Actually, I feel like this is not too bad of a match. In the mirror, it looks a little bit yellow, but that's not the foundation's fault. That's my fault because I don't know how to color match. But we're still going to use it. It's the Catrice. I don't know, the seal is broken on this. I think it might be a tester, but we're still gonna use it because we're nasty. Alright, so I've heard a lot about this brand. I never tried anything from this brand before, and this is Catrice Cosmetics, the Liquid Camouflage High Coverage Concealer. I've actually heard a lot of people really love this, so we're going to put it to the test today, and hopefully it's a full coverage because I love full coverage concealers. I've been using the Too Faced Born This Way concealer, and before that I was on, I almost said Tarte Shape Tape. So I'm going to continue using the Total Face Sponge from e.l.f. for the rest of my products today, and so I'm just going to start blending that out. So one thing that I do notice with this concealer is it does dry pretty fast, so I'm having a pretty hard time blending it out right now. I am getting a little bit of creasing already though, so I am going to go straight into the powder and try not to look down. Alright, so the setting powder that we're going to be using today is the Maybelline Fit Me Powder in the shade 15 Light. I've heard a lot of people rave about this. I've tried this before, but I didn't really pay attention to how well it worked. Alright, so I'm just going to first blend out the creasing that I got a little bit under my under eyes and apply that on the under eyes to set. I feel like I got too dark of a powder. I'm really bad with color matching, as you guys can tell. Alright, and to set the rest of the face, I'm just going to take this e.l.f. brush. I don't know what brush. Oh, this is the e.l.f. 101 brush. It's a powder brush, and I'm just going to dip it into... I feel like this powder gives a little bit of extra coverage too, because it's definitely changing the color of my foundation. Considering this is a little bit darker than the foundation that I used today, I should have went with the 10 instead of the 15, but I feel like it's a perfect match to my normal skin tone now. So that was a great mistake. Alright, so now that we have the rest of the face set, we're going to go into the next product, which is the butter bronzer. Everyone loves the butter bronzer, and I've never tried it before, so we're going to be trying it out today. And when I was picking this out, I actually went with the second darkest one. There's one that was a little bit lighter for more fair skin tones. Alright, so this is what the packaging looks like. It has a little push button right here, and it just flips open, and it also comes with this little sponge thing. I don't know how I feel about this. It's just a sponge. I don't know if I want to use it or not. I'm a little bit scared. Let's just try it and see how it works. How are you even supposed to... Just gonna use the brush that I always use for my bronzers and contours, and it is the BH Cosmetics brush, just a fluffy BH Cosmetics brush, doesn't really have a number or name on it. I'm just lightly going to dip into the butter bronzer because we don't know how pigmented it is yet. And I like to start on my forehead because if I go a little bit too dark, I could just decide to have bangs for the day and cover that up. Alright, so I feel like this is very subtle. There are some darker ones which I should have gotten, but it is applying very smoothly and blending out nice. Alright, let's try to see if it builds up, if you keep applying it, and see if it builds up to be a little bit darker. Alright, I feel like we're getting a nice little bronzer contour moment going now. It's definitely buildable. Wow, okay. This actually is amazing. I'm actually kind of shook right now. Okay, yeah, this definitely lives up to the hype that everyone gives it. I feel like it's blending so smoothly. It looks so good, especially on camera. Okay, this is definitely a great find. I'm going to be using this probably almost every day now. I know you've heard everyone say this is a really good bronzer, but no joke, this lives up to the hype. Alright, so next we're going to be going into blush, and the blush that I'm using today is from Milani. This is the shade number 5, Luminoso. Alright, and it also comes with one of these little brush things, which I think is nicer than the ones that they usually give you. It's a little bit rough, a little bit thick, but some of the brushes that they'd be giving you guys in some blushes and face products, alright, so we're actually going to try to use this first and see. Alright, so when I swipe it, a lot of the product, I don't know if you guys could see it, but it got blush all over my pants. Alright, so we're not going to do that. I don't know, maybe it's just me, because I have my favorite brushes that I use for products. So whenever I get like a brush inside of a product, I never know how to use it because it's so weird to me. And we're just gonna lightly tap that until we see something. And I also like to blush my nose a lot. You know, make it look like I just blew my nose or I just stepped out of the cold. I really love that look. It's a really good look for me. Okay, so this is a nice color blush. It's very pigmented, so you don't have to like work with it too much. But one thing that I do have to say is it is luminous. Obviously, I don't know if the name Luminoso is supposed to like hint that it's a luminous blush. Probably, I'm just like a little bit stupid. I have 2 brain cells, you know? But it does kind of bring out texture, kind of like a highlighter does, because it does have like a lot of like shimmer in it. If you had like really smooth skin, I think that you would like this blush a lot, but unfortunately I do have acne prone skin and a lot of scarring and a lot of dryness, so this definitely makes it pop. So I don't think I'm going to be using this blush again. I do think it's a good color, I just don't care for the shimmers in it. But again, if you did have really clear skin, you might like that blush a lot. I think that next time I buy a Milani blush, I'm not going to buy one that's luminous. I'm just going to buy like one of the matte ones. I think I've tried one of the matte ones before and I really loved it, but I've never tried the luminous ones, and now I know why. I don't like them. Alright, so the last face product that we're going to try before we go into eyes is the highlighter. Actually, almost forgot to get a highlighter, and I kind of just like reached for the closest one when I was in line. But it is the Essence Pure Nude highlighter in the shade 10 Be My Highlight. And when I was looking at it, it didn't really have a lot of shimmer. I don't know if this is going to be like very highlighter-y. Oh, actually, I take that back. Using my favorite brush for highlighter, which is the Morphe M501 brush. So I'm just going to rub a little bit. I'm not going to press too hard, and then I'm going to tap off the excess. Oh, okay, wow. Okay. I actually wasn't expecting that from the swatches that I did because it's like barely showing up. But when you apply it with a brush, it applies very nicely. The color of this highlight reminds me a lot of the ColourPop Flexitarian highlighter, which is my all-time favorite highlighter. I use that almost every day. Alright, so before we move on to the eyeshadow, I do just want to mention really fast that I am noticing a lot of creasing on my under eyes. I have a feeling it's a concealer, but I can't tell if it's the concealer or the setting powder. But I feel like the rest of my face looks pretty nice, so I'm pretty sure it's not the setting powder. Might just be the concealer. But I'm going to give it a second chance in another video. Alright guys, so I just quickly primed my eyes and did my eyebrows really fast. I don't really like what is going on right here in the center of my eyebrows. I don't know what's going on, but we're just going to deal with it because I don't feel like doing any like Instagram brows today. I just want to do like a little eyebrow mascara, call it a day. And for my eyes, I just primed with the why is that so funny to me? I'm literally a child. The Tarte Shape Tape, that's what I always use to prime my eyelids, and then I set it with just the Maybelline Fit Me Powder. I actually bought 2 products that I was going to use today, but I don't think I'm going to use this one. This is the Essence Metal Shock Eyeshadow. It's like a shimmer eyeshadow, and I'm just going to do a quick little swatch to show you guys how the product is. It's just like a shimmery eye topper. Alright, so moving on to eyes, the eyeshadow palette that we're going to be using today is Catrice Cosmetics, the Paradise Desert eyeshadow palette. And this was actually a collaboration with the Fashion Freak. Her real name is Melly, and I actually love her. I love her videos. I've been following her on Instagram for a while, so when I saw this at Ulta, I was like, okay, I need to try that because I love all her looks, and I'm pretty sure she's done like a lot of looks with this, so I want to try to recreate some of them. I'm actually going to be recreating one of the looks that she did when she first debuted this palette on her YouTube channel, where she used the yellow, the orange, and the red. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to do like a very colorful red smoky eye type moment. This is what it looks like. And it comes with one of these clear things which has the eyeshadow names on it. So I'm probably going to keep this inside the eyeshadow palette. I like to know what the names of the eyeshadows are when I'm using them, because it doesn't say on the palette or on the back. You actually literally have to keep this if you want to know what the names are. Can these dogs, like, stop? Alright, so the eyeshadow palette retails for $14.99. I had a coupon, so I got it for like $14.47. So $15 eyeshadow palette. If you think about it, most eyeshadow palettes that you buy that are like high-end, like Morphe for example, is like $20, $25, $30. You get like Anastasia for like $100. No, I'm just kidding. Like $50, basically $100 should be. Oh my god, I can't believe that there's an eyeshadow palette out there. What is it? The Natasha Denona eyeshadow palette? That shit is so expensive. I will never get my hands on that until I'm like a millionaire probably. Alright, so anyways, I do really love the color selection because you guys know I love color. And sometimes I like to do a little bit of browns. No, who am I kidding? I never do browns. I feel like this is one of those eyeshadow palettes if you're going on vacation and you don't have a lot of room to bring a bunch of palettes. Just throw this one in there. There's a lot of looks that you could create with this eyeshadow palette. Alright, so now that you guys can see all the texture on my skin, the first shade that I'm going to be going into is this yellow one, Sundays, and I'm just using a Luxie 121 mini tapered brush right here, which I got in my, what was it, November BoxyCharm box. I really love these brushes. And I'm just going to pick up a little bit of that to see how pigmented it is first. And we're going to use that as our first transition color. I feel like I could have used like a P. Louise base or something first because it is looking a little bit mustardy. I don't know if it's because I used a skin tone concealer. Alright, so first impressions is this is pretty pigmented, but like with most yellow eyeshadows, you do kind of have to build it up. Anytime I do try an eyeshadow that's yellow from any brand, no matter how much I love the palette, I always have to build up the yellow shade. I just feel like they're very hard to get pigmented and perfect. Alright, so I've been working on this yellow for about like 5 minutes now, so I'm going to move on to the next color. I'm going to be dipping into the shade Dawn, which is this orange shade right next to it. And I'm just going to be using the same brush because I already did both eyes with the yellow. Do you see that? Like, okay, wait, let me just show you. Alright, so I'm like swirling. Where's she at? Hello? Okay, maybe if we use a different brush. I'm just going to use this thicker blending brush and see if the brush makes a difference. Again, swirling. Okay, I feel like that's a little better. So far, I'm really having to build up the color. And I don't know, it's just taking a lot of time. So I am going to move on to the next shade, which is this red shade. And the name of this shade is Inferno. And taking my Morphe M506 brush, I'm just going to be swirling that around. Okay, this one looks very pigmented. I have high hopes for this one. Alright, so now that we have a little bit of ketchup and mustard action going on, my thoughts on the eyeshadow palette, I didn't really care for the yellow and the orange ones. I should have went in and did like a different look with this first, but I did like the red one. I feel like it was very pigmented, and I did a couple swatches on my arm as well, and the other shades were pigmented, so I am going to play around with this a little bit more, so I will give you guys my full impressions on the pinned comment down below. So go ahead and check in a couple days. I'll be playing with this some more, and then I will let you guys know my final thoughts. Alright, so last but not least, for lips, we're going to be going into the Tease Lip Lacquer by NYX Cosmetics, and this is in the shade Decadent. Ooh, it smells good too. It smells kind of like mint chocolate. I actually really like that. That's a cute shade. Alright guys, so this is the finished look, the finished beat. I actually really loved a lot of these products. I'm just going to go over them really fast and let you guys know if they were a hit or miss for me, and give you guys my reasons why. Anything that I say is a miss, I am going to give a second chance. Gonna play with them a little bit, try to make them work in different ways, and then I will let you guys know my final thoughts on my misses in the comments down below. It's going to be one of the pinned comments, and it's going to be like a couple weeks from the day that this video is uploaded. Alright, so first going in with the foundation, I really love the foundation. I think this was a hit. It was very full coverage, it looked very nice. It still looks pretty nice, and I've had this on for about 2-ish hours now that I've been filming. I took a few breaks, so. As for the sponge, I really did like the sponge. It's very soft, it's not rough like most of the cheap sponges that you find in the stores. I found it very comparable with my Japanesse Sponge, which is my favorite sponge. So for the Catrice concealer, the Liquid Camouflage High Coverage Concealer, I think that this one was a miss. I did get a lot of creasing in my under eyes, and the coverage was good, but I feel like it could have been better for claiming to be high coverage. I know a lot of people were raving about this concealer, so I'm definitely going to give it a second chance. I'm going to try it with a different setting powder, maybe try it on top of a different foundation. For the setting powder, there's not much to say about a setting powder. I think that this was a hit. I did really like it. It did give a little bit of extra coverage though, because it is tinted, so I liked that about it. The blush, I think, I'm kind of like in the middle about hit or miss for the blush, because I do like the color, I do like the pigment, I do like their matte ones, but I don't really care for the luminousness. I mean, I don't think I'll be using this again, but I do really like the color, and I feel like if you have clear skin, you'll really love this blush, honestly. But that's just my opinion, everyone is different. So for the butter bronzer, I think that this was definitely a hit, and I know that we all know that this is a hit because everyone always raves about it. It's very buildable, it blends very nicely, and I really like the color of it as well. Okay, for the eyeshadow palette, I'm definitely going to give this more than another chance. I'm going to play with this like a few times and try to create like different looks, play with different shades. This is not a miss. It could be a hit, but we will see in the future. Check the pinned comment down below in a couple weeks and I will let you guys know. Last but not least, the lips. The NYX Cosmetics Lip Tease Lip Lacquer in the shade Decadent. I really love this. I really love glossy lips. I don't like matte lips that much. So I'm definitely going to be using this a lot more. I think that this was a hit as well. Anyways, I hope that you guys like this ketchup and mustard look, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you learned something or found some products that you want to try out. If you did like this video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. And I hope you have a great rest of your day or night wherever you are, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.